First, let me start off by apologizing. I forgot the most crucial step one of this whole tutorial series, and that is how to actually start voiceover for the very first time. I already had it in my mind that it was evident by my intro. It's not. I apologize. Forgive me. But to start voiceover, you press Command F5, the first key to the left of the spacebar, plus the sixth key from the top left on the keyboard. That turns voiceover on and off. And when you start it for the first time, this is what you will hear.
Welcome to VoiceOver. VoiceOver speaks descriptions of items on the screen and can be used to control the computer using only your keyboard. If you already know how to use VoiceOver, press the V key now. If you want to learn how to use VoiceOver, press the space bar now.
Hey everybody, welcome back to lesson 2 of my 2020 Apple VoiceOver Mac OS X Catalina tutorial. In this lesson, I will cover how to navigate your computer using just your keyboard, then introduce some trackpad navigation, then we will go over customizing your VoiceOver. So without any further delay, let's get started. Okay, so like usual, I am sharing my screen so you can see visually as well what I am doing as far as using VoiceOver. Now, one thing to remember when using VoiceOver are, if you come from the JAWS world or NVDA world, you will know that navigating your computer becomes second nature. So when you start using VoiceOver, keep that in mind. You are building a new rapport on how to use a computer with different screen reader. What I like to tell people is the only similarities between screen readers is the fact that they operate in a linear fashion, left to right, top to bottom. And then of course you can go into more depth in saying, let's say there are columns and rows and that sort of thing. It's going to read column 1, left to right, top to bottom, column 2, left to right, top to bottom, column 3, left to right, top to bottom, so forth and so on. That is pretty much the only similarity, maybe with the exception of some voices, but that really doesn't count. So using VoiceOver, consider it different and a new thing to learn. And hopefully this will be easy enough to understand that after some time, it'll become second nature. Okay, so navigating your computer. To start, we are going to be using the keyboard only in the beginning of this lesson. I've already gone over in the previous lesson VO keys and left and right navigation. For example, I can go to my dock by pressing VOD as in dock. And once again, VO, voiceover keys, is control and option, plus a key on the keyboard.
Dock, text edit 13 of 22.
Now to navigate within this dock, you got a few ways you can do it. VO, left and right arrow.
System preferences, separator, text edit, mail, 12 of 20.
Or just your left and right arrow key.
YouTube 11 of 22. Safari 10 of 20. Google Chrome.
Or turning on Quick Nav, which is left and right arrow at the same time.
Quick Nav on.
Then using just your arrow keys.
Brave browser. QuickTime player. Open. IINA. Sync motion.
So the advantage of Quick Nav is that you don't have to hold your VO keys. It's one thing to keep in mind when you're navigating things. Some people say they get stuck using VoiceOver, they get stuck in a certain field. It's because they have Quick Nav on. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Quick nav, quick nav, quick nav. VO could be on, VO could be off.
Final Cut Pro, 4 of 22. Fission, 3 of 22. Farrago, 2 of 22.
So first,
Finder, desktop, desktop.
we are going to navigate your desktop computer. This is how it should look when you first get your computer. Well, let me back up a bit. Normally, when you first start Apple OS X, you'll go through the whole process of setting up your account and blah, 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 blah. And most likely you've had that done already. If not, I could make a lesson on that if that is in demand. Some of the view options that are set up, the only thing that you will see in your desktop is Macintosh HD.
Macintosh HD, volume. Macintosh HD.
And if you hear that bonk sound
Macintosh HD.
right before she speaks,
Macintosh.
that means you're at the top or bottom of what you're navigating. Yeah.
Macintosh HD, volume.
So let's go ahead and open that by pressing Command O. And let me cover really quick. Unlike Windows computers, if you were to press Enter, like using JAWS, for example, or NVDA, if you press Enter, it will open the item, right? Not on Apple. On Apple, it does this.
Macintosh HD, content selected, edit text.
It automatically goes into the Edit field. So rather than pressing F2 on Windows, that's what Enter key does here. So I'm going to press Escape.
Desktop, Macintosh HD, volume.
We're going to open it by using Command O as in open.
Open, Macintosh HD, window, list view, table.
Now it automatically puts me in the list view. So I'm going to go to the very, very top
List date,
of the
edit,
screen.
button, kind, add up, vertical split, Mac, mid, click, close, button.
So I'm at the very top left of the window. Got my close button. And again, to activate items, you'll press VO spacebar.
Minimize, button. Full screen, button. This button also has an action to zoom the window.
So those are the standard 3 options that you'll see on the top of a title bar. It's called in Windows, the title bar, you know, that little title bar thing.
Macintosh HD.
So this is the location of where we're at, the name of the window.
Toolbar.
Now your toolbar, notice it just says toolbar. Most people want to click it.
Sidebar, table, Macintosh toolbar.
VoiceOver, or Apple rather, could be a little more helpful and say toolbar group or something to indicate that you have to interact with it. So the toolbar you want to interact with by pressing Shift, Control, Option, down arrow.
In toolbar, 9 items, /forward, group.
See how this says group, /forward, not /forward, but back and forward. So you can interact with that group because it's a group. So I'm going to interact with it.
In /forward, group. 2 items, back, dimmed, menu button.
And it tells you how many items are in this group. 2 items.
Back, dimmed, menu button. Forward, dimmed, menu button.
So those are pretty self-explanatory. We'll get into this. Well, so back and forward is basically used as you start navigating and going into and out of folders on your computer.
Add up /forward, view, radio group.
Here's the view, and it's a radio group. So let's interact with that.
In view, radio group. 4 items, icon view, radio button, 1 of 4. List view, selected, radio button, 2 of 4.
And we all know the list view. And the list view does work the best only because we are used to it. All these options are very accessible with VoiceOver.
Column view, radio button, 3 of 4. Gallery view, radio button, 4 of 4. Another view, radio group. Group, menu button.
Group. Let's see what this is.
Menu. Check mark, none. Name. Kind. Tags. 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 Size. Date created. Date modified. Date added. Date last opened. Application. Kind. Name.
So it's how it's going to sort them for you.
Group. Menu button. Action. Menu button.
Let's see what this action menu button does.
Menu. Open a new window. Get info. Quick look Macintosh HD. Copy Macintosh HD as path name. Use groups. Sort by. Submenu. Show view options. Show view options.
Now, show view options I am going to go into because there are some things that you can set up which will make navigating your desktop a lot easier. So let's go ahead and click that VO spacebar.
Macintosh HD window. Always open in list view, unchecked, checkbox. Always open in list view, unchecked, checkbox. Macintosh HD window.
Now, just a reminder that when you're inside of a menu, you can use VO spacebar or enter to select it. You may just want to be in the habit of using VO spacebar to perform an action. So this first option
Macintosh
we're on,
always open in list view, unchecked, checkbox.
which I do want checked because I do like list views.
Check. Always open in
Probably just because I'm used to it.
browse in list view, checked, checkbox. Select if you want to set the default style of this window to list view. Group by. None. Group by. Pop-up button.
So this is how it's going to be grouped by. For example, let's say you have a folder that has folders inside of it, as well as documents and music files. It's going to sort it by those things. So applications first, folders next, files third.
Sort by. None. Group by. Pop-up button. Menu checkmark. None. Name. Kind. Application. Date last opened.
And you will see all these options in any of the view options. Sort, grouping, etc.
None. Group by. Sort by.
So here's the sort by.
Name. Sort by. Pop-up button.
And I have mine by name because I just remember the names of everything. So I do a lot of first letter navigation.
Icon size.
Icon size really doesn't matter for screen reader users, but you can adjust this if you have low vision.
Small icon size. Button. Large icon size. Button. Small icon size. Selected. Radio button. Large icon size. Radio button. Text size. Large icon.
And since they do say radio buttons, you just press VO spacebar to activate that element.
Selected. Large icon size.
And it tells you it's selected.
Small icon. Selected. Small icon size. Radio. Large icons. Text size. 16. Text size. Pop-up button.
And again, this is the text size of what the user sees, not what you transmit or communicate with.
Show columns. iCloud status. Dimmed unchecked. Checkbox. Date modified. Unchecked. Checkbox.
So when you're in your list view, you have the option to select which ones are viewable.
Date created. Checked. Checkbox. Date last opened. Unchecked. Check. Date added. Checked. Checkbox. Size. Checked. Checkbox. Kind. Checked. Checkbox. Version. Unchecked. Checkbox. Comments. Unchecked. Checkbox. Tags. Unchecked. Checkbox. Use relative dates. Checked. Checkbox. Calculate all sizes. Unchecked. Checkbox. Show icon preview. Unchecked. Checkbox. Use as defaults. Dimmed button.
There. So when you make changes, and if it's different than what it is when you opened it, if you hit use as default, it'll set that globally on your computer,
Use as defaults. Dimmed button.
which is what I would suggest.
First kind. Date. I show sick text. Large. I name. So group. All Mac close button. Macintosh HD. Always open in list view. Mac close. But Macintosh HD. Window. Action. Share. Dimmed button. Edit tags. Dimmed button.
And again, I'm back in the toolbar of my Macintosh HD window.
Dropbox. Menu button. Menu button. Search text menu button.
Let's see what this menu button does.
Press menu button. Menu button. Menu button. Menu button. Menu button.
Not much. Let's go and exit.
Search text field. Search.
And then there's the last option of search.
Search text field.
So I'm going to stop interacting with this toolbar.
Out of toolbar. Sidebar. Table. Macintosh HD. Select.
Now, sidebar. Okay. I didn't start using the sidebar until actually recently. Only because I decided to hide everything on my desktop primarily because I'm doing these tutorials, but also I like a nice clean desktop. So for the people with vision out there, on my desktop is basically just my logo of Theory of a Blind Man. So it's nice and pretty. It looks good, right?
Vertical sidebar, table, Macintosh HD.
So within the sidebar, you want to interact with it. You could go up and down.
Sidebar, tape, quick nav off.
Or I guess you can't. So you want to interact with the sidebar by pressing Shift, Control, Option, down arrow.
In sidebar, table, Macintosh HD.
And then you want to navigate using either Quick Nav or your voiceover keys and your right and left arrows.
Video production 3TB, eject button.
So that's one of my hard drives, and I don't know if you could hear, but now my hard drive is firing up. External hard drive.
Network.
Network is self-explanatory. It are things that are connected on your network. Your computer, wireless devices, router, TVs, etc.
Network.
So when you plug in your iPhone, for example, or iPad or iPod, do people still use iPods? This is where they will show up and how you access them. So I want to be navigating my Macintosh computer.
There's iMac. Macintosh HD.
So I'm going to stop interacting with it because it's selected.
Out of sidebar, table. Vertical splitter. Scroll area.
Now, scroll area. Notice if you go further,
Scroll area.
bunk, you can't. So interact with the scroll area.
In scroll area. 6 items. Name. Ascending order. Button.
Now you have your sort options because you're now at the, what you could say, the header line of the list view.
Date created. Button. Size. Button. Kind. Button. Date added. Button.
And as you remember, you can check these on or off in the view options. So this is why they show up here. And if you press any of these buttons, that's how it will now sort.
List view. Table.
So there's the list view. Once you're sitting on this list view, you can interact with it, but it's not necessary because I could just press up and down arrow.
Applications folder. Library folder. Applications folder. 9/29.
And again, let me close this
Close window. Macintosh.
so you don't kind of panic.
Macintosh 8.
When you first open it, remember it said open in list view?
Open. Macintosh HD. Window. List view. Table.
There. It automatically puts me in the list view, so I'm not really going all over the place.
Applications folder. 9/.
So there's your applications folder. Let's go ahead and go into applications by pressing what? Command O. Not enter.
Open. List view. Table.
Automatically in the list view, and you can use your up and down arrow keys.
Adobe Acrobat Reader DC app application. Adware Medic app application. App Store. Audio Games folder. Audio Hijack app application. Automator app application. Audio
So,
Hijack app application.
like with anything, VO spacebar. Just get that burned in your head. VO spacebar. VO spacebar is to activate items or elements. So if I wanted to open something, you can press VO spacebar.
Calculator app application. 8/20. Calendar app application. Chess app application.
Oh.
8/20.
See that? See how it jumped?
Calendar app application.
So I'm not going to do that.
Adobe Acrobat Reader. App Store. Audio Games folder. 11.
So I'm going to scratch that previous paragraph. So now that I'm in the list view, and if I want to open anything, it's always Command O. Alternatively, you could do a right mouse click for the basically a contextual menu, context menu. That is Shift, Control, Option, M, as in menu.
Menu.
And you hear that little whoop, like a, I don't know what you call that, but it tells you menu.
Open a new window.
Open a new window.
Move to trash.
Move to trash.
Get info.
Get info.
Rename.
Rename.
Compress audio games.
Compress.
Duplicate.
Duplicate.
Make alias.
Make alias. Make aliases are nice because let's say you use this folder a lot. What you could do is make it an alias and then copy it to your desktop, for example.
Quick look audio games. Share. Submenu. Quick actions. Submenu.
Now, quick actions is a new feature in the latest OS X. So let's take a look at that by pressing right arrow.
Quick actions. Submenu. Customize ellipsis.
Looks like that's it.
Customize
Yep.
ellipsis.
So customize.
Menu. Quick actions.
Now this will change depending on what you were using the context menu for.
Copy audio games.
For example, if you're sitting on an audio file, it'll give you quick options to play it in whatever audio file players you have.
Import from iPhone or iPad. Submenu. Use groups. Sort by. Submenu. Show view options. Tags. Interactive. Folder actions set up ellipsis. New terminal tab at folder. New terminal at folder. Open a new window.
There, now we're back to the top. You hear the little blah, blah, blah.
New terminal at folder.
I don't know what that is.
Open a new window.
Anyway.
List view.
So you're on
App
your
Store.
list view.
Audio games folder.
Open it by pressing Command O.
Open. List view. Table.
Now, I don't want to play a game after all. I want to go back. Now, if you remember in that toolbar, there was that back and forward button. So you could do that by stop interacting with the list view.
Out of scroll area.
Notice it says out of scroll area. And again, you press Shift, Control, Option, Up arrow to stop interacting. And then you go to your toolbar.
Vertical side toolbar.
Interact with it by pressing Shift, Control, Option, down arrow.
In toolbar. 9 items. / forward. Group.
Back and forward group. Interact with that.
In / forward. Group. 2 items. Back. Menu button.
So you got the back menu button, which is now highlighted.
Forward. Dimmed. Menu button.
Dimmed because you can't go forward.
Back. Menu button. List view. Table.
So I press back, and now I'm back in
Adobe Acrobat Reader.
my applications folder.
Adware Medic App Application.
Now you can
7/28
also
Adobe Adware Medic App
Oops.
Application. 7/apps Adware Medic App Audio Games folder.
let's go back into audio games.
Open. List view. Table.
Now a much quicker way
A Blind Legend app.
is if I want to go back, you can do
Back. List view. Table.
yeah.
Zoom Us App Application.
Oopsie.
12/ Audio Games folder. Open. List. The Great Toy Rob. A Blind Legend.
So there are two other ways that you can get back quickly. You can press Command Up arrow, or you can press Command \. I like Command Up arrow because I'm using the arrow keys constantly. So Command Up arrow.
Enclosing folder. List view. Table. Audio Games folder.
And as you can tell, it said enclosing folder. Let's go back to the Macintosh HD.
Enclosing folder. List view. Table. Applications folder. 9.
Now, where your stuff is located, you'll go to Users. So first letter navigation, USE.
Users folder. 9/29.
And then you want to open it by pressing Command O.
Open. List view. Table.
You want to find your account. Mine is my name.
Dare folder.
Open.
2/20. Open. List view. Table.
So here are all my stuff.
Adaptive Technology Services folder. Applications folder.
This is where your downloads and documents and music and movies will be located. So, for example, let's go to music.
Music folder. January.
Open it.
Open. List view. Table.
Command O.
Audio hijack folder. DC and Talk Radio. DJ folder. Downloaded YouTube tracks folder. Farrago tracks folder. GarageBand folder. iTunes folder. Music folder. My Creations folder. Passive. Ape. Peter Griffin. YouTube audio library folder.
So there are all my music related content. To go back in the menu, again, you press Command Up arrow.
Enclosing folder. List view. Table.
So now I'm back in my user folder.
Pictures folder. Music folder. Movies folder. iCloud Drive. Archive folder. Google Drive folder. May 17th, 2019 at 6. Dropbox folder. January 14th, 20.
This is how you will access your cloud storage as well. Will be in your user account. So anything related that you set up as your user will be in your user folder. Let's go ahead and close this.
Close window. Macintosh HD. Volume.
So there you have it. There's some basic keyboard navigation for you. Now let's introduce a little bit of the trackpad. If you have a laptop, you know, it's that little square pad below your spacebar in the middle. Or if you've got a trackpad like I use, it is about, I'm holding it up in the camera so the visuals can see it. It's about 4 inches by 6 inches, maybe, somewhere around there. It's It doesn't come with the Mac computers. Usually you have a Magic Mouse that comes with the computers. I like the trackpad because it's very similar in its functionality as it is to an iPhone or anything with a touchscreen, right? So, just like your iPhone,
Macintosh HD volume. Macintosh HD.
you can flick right and flick left,
Macintosh HD.
up and down. You can double tap one finger to open.
Macintosh HD.
Now, I wish you could use a 2-finger scrub to exit. That would be nice, but you can't.
Close window. Desktop. Group desktop.
Actually, let's open that because
QuickTime player. Finder.
Oops.
Finder. Macintosh HD. Macintosh 8 list view table.
so again, I'm on the list view
Date added button.
and I'm flicking left.
Kind button. Size button. Date created button. Name. Ascending order. Name. Ascending order.
So you hear that bonk as if I'm at the very top of something, but remember, I'm in the heading of the list view.
Name. Ascend.
So I want to stop interacting. And to stop interacting using a trackpad, you will just swipe 2 fingers to the left.
Out of scroll area.
And it says out of scroll area. Continue flicking.
Vertical splitter.
Flick.
Sidebar. Toolbar.
Flick, flick,
Macintosh 8 toolbar.
flick. So to interact with something is just the opposite. 2-finger swipe to the right.
In toolbar. 9 items. / forward. Group. View. Radio group.
And I'm swiping to the right.
Group. Menu button.
Now, there's a menu button. Again, you can double tap 1 finger.
Menu. Check mark. None.
Now I'm swiping down.
Name. Kind. Application. Date last opened. Date added. Divider. Dimmed. Group. Menu. View. Radio group.
Oh,
Group. Menu
look
button.
at that. Okay, so I was in that menu button and I did a 2-finger scrub.
Menu.
Let's do it again.
Check mark. Name.
And now it works.
Kind.
So that's an update. That's a voiceover update, I believe. So 2-finger scrub to get out of it.
Divider. Dimmed. Group. Menu button. Action. Menu button.
So stop interacting with the toolbar.
Out of toolbar. Sidebar. Table. Macintosh HD. Selected. Vertical splitter.
Now, just like your iPhone or iDevice, you have your rotor.
Words. Characters. Adjust. Navigation. Window spots. Words. Characters. Adjust. Navigation.
Now, navigation is not as in detail or as in-depth as you would think. It's basically you can flick up, down, left, and right to navigate the window.
Vertical splitter. Vertical splitter. Scroll area. Scroll area. Scroll area. Vertical sidebar. Toolbar. Full screen. Button. Full screen. Minimize. Close. Close. But close. Close. Minimize. Full screen. Toolbar. Full screen. Button.
So,
This button also has an action to zoom.
Yeah,
Minimize.
yeah, yeah,
Close.
yeah.
Button.
so if I flick right,
Minimize. Close.
or
Button.
excuse me, if I flick down,
Close. Button.
it bonks because there's nothing below the close button. So as you go across and then flick down, you can see exactly how it's navigating. And this is actually a good way to build a mental map, if you wish, on how things are arranged.
Minimize button.
So nothing below the minimize.
Full screen button.
Full screen.
This button also has an action to zoom.
Yeah, we know what it does. Flick down.
Toolbar.
Boom. Places you in the toolbar. If I flick down again,
Sidebar. Table. Macintosh HD.
down to the sidebar. If I flick down again,
Sidebar. Table. Macintosh.
that kind of tells me that I'm somewhere on the left portion of the screen, possibly, like in a narrower column or list view than the actual list view that is what you're looking at.
Applications folder. 9/29/19. 1. 23. System folder. 9/29/19. 1.
I accidentally pressed the first letter navigation, so let's get out of here.
Toolbar. Macintosh. Sidebar. Table. Macintosh. Library folder. System folder. Applications folder. Enclosing folder. List view. Table. Macintosh HD.
Okay, anyway. So if I flick right to go to the list view,
List view. Table. Macintosh HD volume. Out of scroll area. In scroll area. 5 items. Name. Ascending order. Button. Date modified. Button. Size. Button. Kind. Button. List view. Table. Macintosh HD volume.
and again, you can either use navigation up and down.
List view. Table. Window spots. Navigation. List view. Table. Macintosh HD volume. 12 in list view. Tape network collapsed.
There we go.
Video production 3 TB volume. Eject button collapsed. Video production 3 TB volume. Network. Macintosh name. Ascending order button. Macintosh HD volume. Out of list view.
So stop interacting with that. Now, some other features.
Close window.
Close
Macintosh
that. You remember in the first lesson, I kind of described how your computer screen looks. You have your menu bar at the top left. Well, the majority of the top left. Like 2/3, I think it is. And then the right 1/3 is basically
Macintosh HD.
Your notification area. System tray, you could call it. For Apple, it's the menu extras. And then you have your main desktop where I'm at right now.
Macintosh HD volume.
And then you have your dock. Now you can access these by double tapping 2 fingers on the top of your trackpad.
Menu bar, Apple.
So now I'm in the menu bar.
Finder, file, edit, view, go.
Press escape.
Macintosh HD.
Back to the desktop. 2 fingers on the bottom for the dock.
Dock, Borrego, 2 of 22.
That's probably the most common thing that I use on the trackpad, honestly, is getting to the dock.
Fission.
Also, the other 2 options,
Finder.
which are 2-finger double tap on the right.
Application chooser menu for items. System dialogues, menu. QuickTime player, previous. Finder, current. VoiceOver utility. VoiceOver.
So basically all the applications that are currently running. This
Macintosh 8.
2-finger double tap on the right part of the trackpad, the application chooser window.
Application chooser menu for items.
This is where you will see your notification center
Macintosh 8.
alerts, so you can quickly get to them. Or in this case, how it said system dialogues.
Application chooser.
That is some kind of system alert.
System dialogues, menu.
And it's a menu, so you can press right arrow to go into it.
System dialogues, menu 1 item. Window from screen capture.
So I've got the screen capture going on.
Window from screen cap.
If I press enter on it, it'll bring that to the focus.
Macintosh 8.
The other option is 2-finger double tap on the right side.
Window chooser menu 1 item.
Window chooser. So if you have, let's say, an application open that has multiple windows, maybe like a multi-track recorder or something, this is where you access all those.
Go to desktop. Can go to desk.
All those windows.
Macintosh HD volume.
Okay. When I introduced VoiceOver settings yesterday, I talked about how you can change on the fly certain things with the trackpad. That's what we'll cover right now. So, like on your keyboard, you've got bottom left on the keyboard. Control, Option, Command. So, Control will be your speed. Option will be your pitch. And Command will be your volume. Okay. So, if you hold down Control and then spin the rotor left or right.
35%. 40%. 30%.
Left is, or I should say, anti-clockwise is to decrease and clockwise is to increase.
35%.
With everything. So Option and rotate the rotor.
60%. 65%. 65%. 55%. 45%. 35%. 30%. 20%. 10%. 1%.
So obviously that's pitch. Siri voices, they don't change too dramatically, unlike the regular voices. So
10, 15%.
this really doesn't matter.
20, 30, 40%, 60%.
And then finally you have volume, which is Command plus rotor.
40%. 30%. 40%. 30%.
So those are your on-the-fly rotor commands for VoiceOver speed, pitch, and volume. Now let's go into some customization of your VoiceOver. So to start, we are going to go to the VoiceOver utilities. Now, again, you can go to your VoiceOver help menu, which is VO, H. Once again, that is Control, Option plus H.
VoiceOver help menu 5 items.
Then you're going to go down to Commands.
User guide commands help. Commands help menu 14 items.
And expand that.
General menu.
Then you're going to go to General. Now I'm using the arrow keys to navigate this particular menu and submenu. So right arrow on General.
General menu 76 items.
Now instead of going through 76 items, I'm going to use first letter navigation and type Open V.
6, 20, 12, 12, 12, 3 items. Open verbosity rotor control option. V.
So as you could hear, it said 3 items. Narrows it down quite a bit.
Open voiceover utility control option FN 8.
Now, of course, mine is already open, and I'm going to show you a quick way, really quick.
Utility categories table general.
Here's mine because it's already open. I'm going to show you how to add it to the dock because I use it quite frequently.
QuickTime player. Finder. Desktop. Macintosh HD.
So, and this is actually going to be part of the lesson, which is navigating your computer. So this will be kind of like 2 lessons wrapped into one. So once you're on your desktop, you're going to press Command O for open. And this is crucial to get out of your mind and compare it to JAWS, where you press Enter to open something. If you press Enter, this is what happens.
Macintosh HD. Contents selected. Edit text.
Contents selected. Edit text. Which essentially this is the F2 feature or function on a Windows computer. So you do not want to do this.
Desktop. Macintosh HD.
So I press Escaped. And like I mentioned in lesson 1, there are multiple ways to do everything. So you could press Command O to open something. You could press VO spacebar to open it. Or if you're using your number pad, you can press 5 to open it. Or, furthermore, you can press Shift, Control Option, spacebar. Or excuse me, M as in menu, which will essentially bring up the context menu of your mouse click.
Menu. Open.
And there's open there. This feature you'll need to use in the future when downloading apps from third-party people or developers, because you will need to press a certain key combination to allow a third-party download. But we'll get to that in the future.
Macintosh HD. Volume.
So let's go ahead and open that.
Open. Macintosh HD.
Now we want applications. So I'm going to first letter navigation applications.
Applications folder.
There
9/29/.
I'm going to open that with Command O.
Open. List view.
Now I want utilities.
VLC app application. Utilities folder. 9/29/.
And I'm going to do Command O.
Open. List view. Table.
And I want VoiceOver utility.
VoiceOver utility app application.
There it is.
9/10/19. 10:42 p.m. 10.4 megabytes. Application. 10/7/19. 7:01.
And since I already have it in the dock, let me get rid of it and re-add it.
Dock.
So
QuickTime
you can
player.
see how.
Open. VoiceOver utility. Open. 15 of 22. VoiceOver. Quit. Hide. Show all windows. Options. Submenu. Option. Open at login. Checkmark. Keep in dock. Show in Finder. Open at login. Checkmark. Keep in dock. Finder. Utility.
Now that should have removed it.
Dock. Farrago. Fish. Final. Motion. QuickTime. Brave. Google. Safari. YouTube. Mail. Text. System. Voice. Separate. Preview. VoiceOver utility. Open. 15 of 22.
Oh, it's because it's open.
Finder.
So let me go ahead and close it.
VoiceOver. QuickTime. VoiceOver utility. VoiceOver. Finder. List view. Table. Dock. Finder. Finder. Menu. Finder. Utilities. Window. List view. Table. VoiceOver utility app application. Dock. Finder. Open. Fish. Find. Motion. QuickTime. Brave. Google. Safari. YouTube. Mail. Text. System. Separator. Preview.
Okay.
QuickTime player. QuickTime. Finder.
Now it is out of the dock. So
Terminal app. VoiceOver utility app application. 9/10/19. 10:40.
to add something to the dock, you can press Command Shift T, as in Tango.
Show tab bar.
No.
Hide tab bar.
To add something to the dock, you're going to press Option Shift T, as in Tango.
Terminal app application.
No.
9/3/19. Voiceover utility app application. 9/10.
To add something to the dock, you are going to press Control Command T as in Tango. No. No. No.
Terminal app application.
No.
9/3/ Voiceover utility app.
No.
Terminal app application.
Did that.
Grapher app application.
Whoops.
Voiceover utility app application. 9/10/19. Sidebar. Table.
No.
Vertical scroll area. Terminal app. Voiceover utility app.
What the heck? Option T?
Terminal app application. 9/3/19. 6. Voiceover utility app. Terminal app application.
No.
Not voiceover utility app application. New tab. Macintosh HD. Window.
No.
Close tab. Utilities. Window. Scroll area. Terminal. Voiceover utility app application. 9/10.
Okay, I figured this out before. What the heck?
Show tab bar. Hide tab bar. Terminal app application. 9/3. Voiceover utility app terminal app application. 9/3. Voiceover utility app application. 9/10/19. Terminal app application. Not voiceover utility app application. 9/10.
How did I do this before? This is ridiculous.
Add to dock.
There we go. Okay, action. So to add to the dock any applications or whatever you'd like, you will press Shift, Control, and Command.
Add to dock.
There you go. And now it is in the dock.
Dock. Preview. Voiceover utility. 19 of 22.
VoiceOver utility. There you go.
Separator. Voiceover. Zoomus. A voiceover utility.
So let's go ahead and open it. Now in the dock, you can use Enter to open.
Finder. Utilities. Window. Scroll. Voiceover utility. Voiceover utility. Window. Utility categories. Table. General. Selected has keyboard.
So to customize your VoiceOver voice, your speech voice, go down to Speech.
Verbosity. Speech.
VO right arrow.
Voices. Selected. Tab. 1 of 2.
And Voices is already selected. Now I'm currently using the cursor navigation without Quick Nav on, but you can use Quick Nav on if you'd like. When you have Quick Nav on, just remember you're not using the VO keys.
Pronunciation. Tab. Mute speech. Customized language list. Table.
So there's a table. I'm going to interact with it by pressing Shift, Control, Option, down arrow.
In customized language list. Table. Language. Default. Column 1. Row 1.
And it tells me I'm in the table view.
English. Voice. Siri Mail voice pop-up button. Column. Rate. 45 rate. Rate stepper. Edit. Button. Column 4. Edit. Button.
So I want Edit.
Voice settings for default system language. 45. Content default. Rate. 45. Content select.
No, excuse me. I don't want that.
Siri Mail. 45. Contents. Siri Mail. Default. Default. Intonation. Vol. Pitch. Rate. Voice. Category. Voice settings for default system. Voice settings for default system language. Pitch. In default. 100. Okay. Default. Customize. Add language. Customized language. Mute speech. Pronunciation. Mute. Customized. Default. English. Voice. Siri Mail voice pop-up button. Column 2.
So you'll go down to the voice itself. It's a pop-up button, which basically is like a drop-down menu.
Menu check mark. Siri.
Press VO spacebar to activate.
Customize ellipsis.
You want to go down to Customize.
Select voices. Search.
So now, pop up in a search box.
Voices. Table.
Here is the table. Interact with that.
In voices. Table. English or United States. Female. Row 1.
So it tells you the first category is United States. Female. English. Female.
Agnes. Unchecked checkbox.
So the ones that you want, you will press the checkbox. If you want to hear what it sounds like, you highlight it by keeping your cursor on it.
Allison, check box.
So let's see what Allison sounds like. So to do so, you'll stop interacting, which is Shift, Control, Option, up arrow.
Out of voices, table,
Then you'll find the button that says Speak Sample.
play, button.
Or now it says Play.
Press stop, button.
Oops, I pressed stop.
Press stop,
My
button.
name is Allison. I am an American English voice.
Voices, table, Allison, in voices, table. Allison compact, uncheck checkbox. Ava, check box. Ava compact, uncheck checkbox. Kathy, uncheck checkbox. Princess, uncheck checkbox. Samantha, check box.
We all know Samantha's voice.
Samantha compact, Siri female, check box. Siri female, check box. Siri female compact, uncheck checkbox. Susan, uncheck checkbox. Vicky, uncheck checkbox. Victoria, uncheck checkbox.
So you can go through, figure out the ones that you would like, select them by checking the checkbox, and to check a checkbox, it's just like activating any other element. You'll press the VO spacebar. So for
English
example,
United States. Victoria, uncheck Victoria, check box. Uncheck Victoria, check box. Check Victoria, check box. Uncheck Victoria, check box.
once you have all your selections checked,
Out of voices, table,
you'll stop interacting by pressing Shift, Control, Option, up arrow,
play, button. Cancel, but okay, default, button.
and press the OK.
Customized language list, table.
Now this will take several minutes depending on how many you select to download and load into your VoiceOver speech engine. And what I do once I think it's done,
Add language, button. Remove help, button.
because it really doesn't give you a status,
Remove selected languages, dimmed, but add language, button. Add a language to customize.
is I will quit VoiceOver and restart VoiceOver, which now, thanks to this second lesson, you guys know how to do that, because I forgot to mention that in the first lesson, which is Command F5. That's to turn it on and off. I'm just waiting now so I can cut this part out. Let's see if it's in here.
Customized language, mute speech, pronunciation, tab, customize, default, English, voice, Siri male voice pop-up button, menu check mark, customize ellipsis, Karen, Vina, Moira, Fiona, Tessa, Kate, Serena, Daniel, Oliver, Allison, Ava, Samantha, Siri female, Alex, Siri female,
Siri female. Press Siri female. Siri choose. Fred. Alex. Fred. Siri customize Siri male.
Siri male,
Okay, action.
press Siri, choose the voice, Siri male voice.
Oops, action. Okay, now that the voices have loaded, I will show you the options that I have.
Rate, voice, Siri male voice pop-up,
VO spacebar, and again VO voiceover keys, Control, Option, spacebar.
menu check mark, Siri male,
You get a little like bubble pop type sound. That means it's activated.
customize ellipsis, Karen,
Karen,
Vina,
Vina,
Moira,
Moira, my Irish voice,
Fiona,
Fiona,
Tessa,
Tessa,
Kate,
Kate,
Serena,
Serena,
Daniel,
Oliver,
Oliver, Allison,
Allison,
Ava,
Ava,
Samantha,
Siri
female,
Siri female,
Nikki, Siri female,
Siri female.
Nora Siri,
So it tells you Nora
Siri female, Nikki Siri,
and Nikki. These are my two favorites. I'm going to go with Nora.
Siri female, Nora Siri,
Siri female. Press Siri female voice pop-up button. Column 2, row 2 pop-up button cell.
There we go.
Choose
Now,
the voice to
if you would like to customize even more,
rate 45 rate stepper. Column 3, row 2.
here's your rates.
Edit button. Edit button.
So let's go ahead and go into
Voice
edit.
set choose
Here's the voice settings for this. Will only affect Nora, whatever voice you have selected.
45. Content selected. Default. Rate. Edit text. No selection. default, rate, stepper.
Now, if you want to change the rate, you'll interact with this particular feature element by pressing Shift, Control, Option, down arrow.
In stepper. Quick nav on. Quick nav off. Default. Default. Rate 45. 45. Content select. 45. 4. Siri female. 45. In edit. 45. 45. 45. Nav at default. Rate. Stepper. 50. Content selected. Default. Pitch. Edit text. Default. Rate. Stepper. Rate 44. Rate 43.
Oh, that's interesting.
Rate 45. 45. Siri female.
So cut that whole previous how-to section. So here are all the voice settings for the particular voice that you're customizing.
45. Content selected. Default. Rate. Edit text. No selection.
That's the rate.
Default. Rate. Stepper.
So the stepper is where you want to actually change the rate or whatever option you're on by pressing the up or down arrow.
Rate 46. Rate 47. Rate 48.
And you can hear how she's slightly speeding up.
Rate 49. Rate 50. Rate 51. Rate 52. Rate 53. Rate 54. Rate 44. Rate 45.
Now, the alternative way to do this on the fly to change the rate will use either your rotor or the trackpad. We will go over the trackpad options once we get into the trackpad lessons. But for the keyboard quick on the fly, you will press Control, Option, Command, I believe Shift, and then left or right arrow.
Intonation 50%.
Here we go.
Voice automatically select based on language. Rate 45%.
And you're holding these keys down, by the way. So it's a little annoying, but for on the fly, it works. So you're holding down Shift, Control, Option, Command. Now, once you're on your selection, you'll press up or down arrow to change it.
40%. 35%. 40%. 45.
Right arrow.
Pitch 50%.
So your pitch, your intonation, or your volume, excuse me.
Volume 100%. Intonation
And your
50%.
intonation. And then by releasing the keys, it closes the menu. But since we are in the voiceover
Closing
settings
default.
itself,
Rate stepper
we will work with them here.
50. Content default pitch stepper.
So there's the pitch, and again, on any of these steppers, you'll just press up or down arrow.
Pitch 50. 100. Content selected. Default. Default. Volume. Stepper. 50. Content selected. Default. Default. Intonation. Stepper.
Now, these are saying defaults, so that means universally speaking or globally. These are like your global settings.
Additional voice options. Collapsed. Disclosure triangle.
Let's go ahead and expand that by pressing Control Option Spacebar.
Expanding additional voice options. Content.
Content, which is basically what's been labeled as content within whatever you're working. So if it's a website, for example, content could be everything on the page because it's content, or it could be just text.
Default voice. Content. Voice. Pop-up button. 50. Content. Rate. Dimmed. Text. No selection.
So what you could do is, for example, usually when I've got this all set up, I have the voice rate as high as it goes, basically. And then on content and I think articles, I have it slowed down to around 50 or maybe 60, 65. That way, when it reads the articles, it slows down to where I need it to be able to take everything in and absorb it, because I read a lot of articles.
Content. Rate. Dimmed. Stepper. 50. Content, pitch, dimmed, text, no selection. Content, pitch, dimmed, stepper, 100. Content, volume, dimmed, text, no selection. Content, volume, dimmed, stepper, 50. Content, intonation, dimmed, stepper, status.
So now, just like the default settings, you can apply those to each of these categories. So for example, if you want a different voice when you type, you can have a different voice when you type, and different speeds, volumes, and pitches.
Default voice, status 50, status rate 50, status pitch 100, status 50, status intonation dimmed, text no selection.
Now let's find out why these are dimmed.
50, volume pick rate voice settings for default system language. Category, voice, rate, pitch, volume, intonation, default. Siri female, default, voice, pop-up button. Choose the voice to use for voiceover.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I forgot to mention that when your default voice is the Siri female voice, you cannot actually edit or customize all of these speech settings. So I'm going to go into another voice.
Alex, Fred, Siri, customize Karen, Fina, Moira, Fiona, Tessa, Kate, Serena, Daniel, Oliver, Allison.
Allison.
Oh,
Default voice pop-up button.
Ugh. Oh boy. Ever since we got the option to use Siri voices, I can't stand these older voiceover vocalizer voices.
45. 50. Default 100. Default 50. Default content.
Now I will say, Siri voices are just slightly lagging in response time. Not a lot, but it's definitely noticeable.
Default voice content voice pop-up button. Choose the voice to use for voiceover when speaking content.
There you go. So if you go into this by pressing VO spacebar, you can change the voice of content.
Karen, Vina, Moira, Fiona, default voice.
So I'm going to make one change so you guys can see how it works.
50.
Or here.
50. 50. Content status. Default 50. Status 50. Status 100. Status 50. Status type. Default voice. Type voice pop-up button. Menu check mark Karen. Check custom Siri email Fred. Alex. Press Alex. Type voice.
Pop-up button.
50. Content selected. Type rate.
Edit text.
No selection.
So now you can see how the voices are starting to change a little bit. So I'm in an actual text field, and that's when he can start to talk. And actually, let's open a text document.
Selection replaced.
Oops. No.
In.
Dialog.
Please provide a valid discard change.
Button.
50. Doc. Voiceover utility.
There we
Open.
go.
19. Voiceover utility. Text edit. Open. New. Untitled.
Oh, that's interesting.
AET.
So type. Scratch the type one.
Voiceover utility. Voice. Alex.
50.
Type voice.
Menu check mark.
Fred. Siri. Samantha. Siri female. Press Siri.
Siri
Choose the
female.
voice to use. 50. Type rate. Siri
Oops.
female. Type. Samantha. Ava. Oliver. Allison. Allison. 50. 50. Type pitch. Stepper. 1. Type 50. Type attribute. Default 50. Attribute 50. Attribute 100. Attributes 50. Attributes. Voiceover menu. Default voice. Voiceover menu. Voice. Menu. Karen. Vina. Tess. Kate. Serena. Dan. Oliver. Alice. Ava. Samantha. Siri. Alex. Fred. Alex. Press Alex. Choose the voice. 50. Contents 50. Voiceover menu. Pitch. Stepper. 100. Voiceover menu. Volume. Stepper. 50. Voiceover. OK. Default. Button. OK. 50. Attribute. 100. Attribute. 50. Attributes. 50. Default voice. Attribute. Type. Intonation. Stepper. 50. Type. Volume. Stepper. 100. Type. Pitch. Stepper. 50. Contents selected. Type. Pitch. Edit text. No selection. Menu check mark Allison. Ava. Samantha. Check mark Allison. Allison. Type. Status and 50. Status 1 50 50 1 1 for al and pit rate voice settings for default system language. Category. Voice, rate, pitch, value, intonate, default, Allison, 30, default, 50, default, 100, default, 50, default, addition, content, addition, collapse, OK, default, customized language list, add language, button, customized language list, mute speech, unchecked, checkbox, customized language list, table. Menu bar, Apple, Apple menu, about this Mac,
What?
customized language list, table.
That makes no sense.
Menu bar, app, file.
Did I not change?
Customized language list. Add language. Custom and cut default. English. Voice. Rate. Edit. Button. Voice 30 default 50 default 100 default 50 default additional voice options collapse expanding of content default 50 con 100 content 50 content status 50 100 status 50 status type. Al 50 type 1 type 50 type attrib default 50 attrib 50 attrib 1 attrib 50 attrib voice Alex 50 voice 50 Alex voice over menu.
Oh, voiceover menu.
Alex 50 voice 50 voice 100 voice 50 voice OK default button. OK voice 50 1 voice 50 voice over menu rate stepper. This item has no help tag.
VoiceOver help menu 5 items.
Voice over menu rate stepper 50 voice over menu.
Okay, so for example, if you wanted to differentiate menus from each other, you got your default menu voice, which is what your default voice is.
Menu bar Apple.
So for example, mine's Allison.
Apple menu. About this system App Store recent force
Blah 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 blah.
voice over
Now, if you go into a voiceover menu, so let's go into the voiceover help menu, because that's a menu.
VoiceOver help menu 5 items.
Now it's Alex.
User guide control option commands help menu control option HH. Keyboard help control option K. Sounds help menu.
voice over menu rate stepper
Me personally, I don't do a lot of these voice changes.
50 contents
But they are there if you'd like to use them.
Alex voice over menu check mark Alex Fred Siri may customize ellipsis default voice. Default voice.
Go back,
Default voice.
back to
Voice
default
over
voice.
default voice category rate pit into default 30 default 50 default 100 default 50 default content additional voice collapsing additional
Close that. I'm going to change my voice again.
100 default 50 default rate stepper 35 Allison Samantha Siri female
Siri female.
Oof,
Press Siri female. Siri
much
choose the
easier on the ears, that is for sure. Okay.
text edit. Finder.
Oh, I
QuickTime
don't
voice
do
over text edit.
close
Text
those.
edit. Close. In. Delete.
button
There is no item with keyboard voiceover utility. Finder. Finder. Close window. Macintosh HD. Macintosh.
Okay, a couple other things as far as customization goes. You can change how VoiceOver reads things. So Macintosh HD, for example, jeez, come on. I'm gonna just cut that whole thing out. So a couple other things that you can do to customize your voiceover speech is a thing called labeling. Okay, so you can actually label elements. What I mean by an element is anything that you can interact with or activate. Okay, so for example, I'm on a desktop
Macintosh HD.
volume
on my volume, which is labeled Macintosh HD by default. Now I can choose to edit the name of it, like we discovered before, by pressing enter.
Macintosh HD. Content selected.
edit text
But I don't want to do it that way.
Desktop. Macintosh HD.
volume
Let's say I want to just have VoiceOver read Macintosh HD as something else. So to activate that, you will press Control Option /, and actually it's a /.
VoiceOver. Item label.
Window.
Enter a label for the current item.
Edit text.
Has keyboard focus.
There you go. So it places you on the text field. You can type whatever you want, and then
Cancel. Save. Default.
Button.
you get your save button. And that's that.
Cancel.
Button.
I'm not going to change it.
Macintosh HD.
Volume.
Let me refresh VoiceOver because I don't know why that menu thing is changing. Good grief.
Macintosh HD.
Volume.
Is under the mouse. Macintosh HD. VoiceOver off. VoiceOver on Finder. Desktop. Macintosh HD.
Volume.
Really?
VoiceOver. Voice. 45. Siri female. Default. Voice.
Pop-up button.
4 to 50 default. 1 default. 50 default. Okay. Default. Additional voice option. Expanding content. Default 50. Content 50. Content 100. Content 50. Content in status. Default 50. Status 50. Status 100. Status 50. Status type. Allison. Type. Voice.
Menu check.
Oliver. Daniel. I'll
Check.
Ava. Samantha. Siri. Alex. Fred. Siri. Customize. Default voice. Default voice. Press default voice. Choose the voice to 50. At 1 at 5 at 4 to 5 1 5 okay. Customize language. Finder.
Okay, let's try that whole labeling thing again. Now, another feature that you can do to customize your voiceover speech is by labeling elements or items. So, for example, I'm sitting on my desktop on the Macintosh HD. That is basically your computer's volume, your computer's hard drive.
Macintosh HD volume.
Now, let's say I want to change the name of it, but I don't want to change the name of it. I just want VoiceOver to read Macintosh HD as something different. One thing to remember is when you're changing labels like this, let's say you are on an Apple help forum and it says, go into your Macintosh HD volume, blah, 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 then the help article, right? So whatever you change this element to, it's going to show up on the website as well. So VoiceOver will remember whatever you change the label to is going to read it across the whole computer. So the only real reason to use, not real, but you know, the most effective way to use the item labeler are for unlabeled buttons. That is one of the best ways that I can think of to use the item labeler. And again, if it's on a website, just beware that anytime the website gets updated, those labels may be gone. Or an application, when an application gets updated, those labels may be gone. So to use the item labeler,
Macintosh HD.
you will press VO /. And again, that's Control Option /. And if you don't know, the / is just to the left of the right Shift key.
VoiceOver. Item label. Window. Enter a label for the current item. Edit text has keyboard focus.
So you'll type in what you want to change it to here,
Cancel. Save. Default. Button.
and you'll press the save button. And you notice it says default. Once you remember what things are set to default, like OK, cancel, delete, save, whatever it may be, when you just press enter, it'll activate the default button.
Finder. Desktop.
Just like
Macintosh.
JAWS, for example.
Macintosh HD. Volume.
Okay, another customization option that you can do is the punctuation dictionary. To activate your punctuation dictionary, you go into VoiceOver. There used to be a keyboard command for this, and for some reason they're not saying what that is in the VoiceOver help menu, which I'm going to go to by pressing VOH.
VoiceOver help menu. Use commands help. Menu control option.
I'm going to down arrow to commands and then right arrow to go into that menu.
Commands help menu 14 items.
And the first one
General menu.
is general, so I'm going to go into there.
General menu 76 items. Actions control option command space. Add pronunciation.
Add pronunciation. There it is. And it used to have a shortcut key next to it, but it no longer does. So I'm going to press enter.
VoiceOver. Dialogue. Add new pronunciation. Text. Substitution. Use in. Add new pronunciation.
So I gave a quick summary of what this window contains. Let's check it out.
Text. Text. Edit text. Substitution. Substitution. Edit text. Use in. All applications. Use in. Pop-up button. Ignore case. Checked. Checkbox. Help button. Cancel. Okay. Default.
Pretty straightforward. Let's
Cancel.
do
Help.
one.
Ignore all. Substitute text. Edit text. Add new pronunciation. Text. Text. Edit text.
My name, for example.
Dara.
She does say it right. However, Alex does not. Alex says Dereg.
Substitution. Substitution. Edit text.
So I'm going to attempt to phonetically spell it. That should
Dara.
work. Yeah, that'll work.
Use in. All applications. Use in.
Now, since it is my name, I would normally choose to use it in all applications. However,
Menu checkmark. All
let's say you do want to choose to use it in just one application.
Finder app. QuickTime Player app. VoiceOver utility app. Checkmark. All applications. Finder app. QuickTime Player app. VoiceOver utility app. Checkmark. All applications.
Now you'll notice that it only has 3 apps.
Divider. Dimmed. All app.
That's because those are the 3 apps that are open.
Ignore all applications. Use in. Pop-up button.
So what you would want to do is have the app open that you would like to change the punctuation dictionary for. That's very similar to JAWS, by the way.
Ignore help button. Cancel.
So I'm going to cancel this.
Finder. Desktop.
Thank you everybody so much for watching, and I hope this has helped a little bit in your decision or starting to use VoiceOver for the first time. Or maybe you just didn't know some things and now you do. So that's awesome too. And I'm getting a lot of good comments on the previous lesson, so thank you guys very much for all your support. It's much appreciated. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment box below, or you can email me, whistler@theoryofAblindman.com. Make sure you're subscribed and you have the notification bell set to all. That way you can be notified of future lessons. I will also post the previous lesson in the cards above. This has been Whistler of Theory of a Blind Man. Thank you all so much for watching my content. It's much appreciated. Don't forget to hit that like, dislike, and subscribe button, or share so others can see it as well. And if you're watching this on the YouTube desktop version, check out the applause feature below the share near the subscribe button. That would really help out too. You can also choose to become a Patreon or support me one time on PayPal, or even become a listener supporter on Anchor.fm. All the links are in the description box below. So for myself and Bug, thank you very much for watching. And until next time, have yourself a great day.